Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya BBT founder Acharya savior of the whole world Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajaka Acharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय. ब्रजभूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय. नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय. पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय. गंगा मैया यमुना मैया की जय. भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय. सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. पतित पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकाधीश की जय. श्री श्री रुक्मिणी द्वारकानाथ की जय. श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय. श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय. शील प्रभुपाद की जय. शील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 15, Text 11. So since this is very short purport, I will lead the first verse and the next verse we will chant together. Maitreya uvacha saprahasya, no, we'll chant next verse together, okay. Saprahasya mahabhavo bhagavan shabdagocharaha pratyachashtatma bhurdevan prinan uruchiraya gira. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Shri Maitreya said, thus Lord Brahma, who is understood by transcendental vibration, tried to satisfy the demigods, being pleased with their words of prayer. Purport. Brahma could understand the misdeeds of Diti, and therefore he smiled at the whole situation. He replied to the demigods present there in words they could understand. Brahmo vacha manasa me suta yushmat purvajaha sanakadayaha Cherurvirha yasa lokal lokeshu vigataspraha. Brahmo vacha manasa me suta yushmat purvajah sanakadayaha cherurvihayasa lokal lokeshu vigataspraha. Brahmo vacha manasa me suta yushmat purvajah sanakadayaha cherurvihasaya lokal lokeshu vigataspraha. ब्रह्मोवाच मनसा मे सुतायुष्मत् पूर्वचासनकादयः चेरुर्विहाय सा लोका लोकेषु यथा स्पृहः ब्रह्मोवाच मनसा मे सुतायुष्मत् पूर्वजाः सनकादयः चेरुर्विहाय सा लोकान् लोकेषु यथा स्पृहः ब्रह्मोवाच मनसा मे सुतायुष्मत् पूर्वजाः सनकादयः चेरुर्विहाय सा लोकान् लोकेषु विगतः स्पृहः वैष्णवीस् ब्रह्मोवाच लोकेषु विगतः स्पृहः ब्रह्मोवाच मनसा मे सुतायुष्मत् पूर्वजाः सनकादयः चेरुर्विहाय सा लोकान् लोकेषु विगतः स्पृहः Brahmavacha. Lord Brahma said, Manasaha, born from the mind, may my Sutaha, sons, Yushmat, than you, Purvajaha, born previously, Sanakadayaha, headed by Sanaka, Cheru, traveled, Vihasya, by traveling in outer space or flying in the sky, Lokan, to the material and spiritual worlds, Lokeshu, among the people, Vigataspraha, without any desire. Translation. Lord Brahma said, my four sons, Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar, who were born from my mind, are your predecessors. Sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. Purport. When we speak of desire, we refer to desire for material sense gratification. Saintly persons like Sanaka, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar have no material desire. But sometimes they travel all over the universe out of their own accord to preach devotional service. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitamstam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. So I seek blessings of all devotees so that I can speak glorifying Lord for all of your pleasure and for my purification. So today we are at a place where Maitreya has described how the demigods, they were praying to Brahma and asking about why this darkness and what we should do. And Brahmaji is about to start answering that. So we'll see three main topics today. First, difference between how a neophyte devotee or inexperienced devotee approaches a problem versus a experienced devotee. Then the second thing we'll see is that how if somebody approaches us with some problem, how we should respond. And third, how Krishna Katha is the solution for all problems. And how the devotees, they extend themselves to share this Krishna Katha. So first thing, we saw in from this chapter, from I think second, third verse till yesterday's verse, 10th verse. Initially the demigods, they glorified Lord Brahma, and then they asked that why is this darkness. And if you see in the last verse, yesterday's verse, they already knew the cause of this darkness. Yesterday's verse, they say, right, as fuel overloads a fire, so the embryo created by the semen of Kashyapa in the womb of Diti has caused complete darkness throughout the universe. So, is it that they were not knowing the problem? No. They knew the problem. Only thing, they were not knowing what to do with it. So, in our day-to-day life and also in specifically in devotional service, we need mentors or some senior with whom we can open up, because there will be problems. And many times, see when somebody is not at all advanced, they really don't know why the chaos in their life is going on. They are just all over the place, right? But if you advance a little bit more, if you are in little bit more of goodness, this is the cause of the problems in my material life or in my spiritual life. But then we don't know what to do with it. Many times we know the problem, we know the solution, but we cannot apply a solution. How many of us has faced this issue wherein we know that there is a problem in some relationship, or particular thing is not going well in our life. We know the problem, we know the solution also, but we are not able to apply. You have that experience, right? And this happened particularly like, say we have, if there is some problem within our family, we know that other person or, has to, reform his consciousness. So we know problem, we know solution. We cannot do it, anything about it, right? So same way here, you see that demigods, they no problem. Now they went to Brahmaji. Brahmaji also knew the problem, but here comes the difference. He knew the solution, but he could not do anything about it. The solution was what? So after 2 chapters, he'll say that solution is wait till Lord Varaha comes, kills Hiranyaksha. Wait till Lord Narasimha comes, kills Hiranyakashipu. Till then, take shelter of Lord. You cannot do anything. So here comes the difference between the consciousness of a advanced devotee and a neophyte. Brahmaji also, like in the first verse, 11th verse, Maitreya says that, Sa prahasya mahabaho. Prahasya means smiling. The demigods were like, as they say, freaking out. Right? They're really disturbed. And what Brahmaji is doing? Give a big smile. How do you feel? You go to somebody and, you say that, this is not going right, this is not going right, this, that, and that other person, he just, what he does, he smiles, So there can be two reactions to it. Either we know that, okay, he knows the solution that, and that's why he's comforting us, or we may think that he's just kind of, ignoring or making fun, right? But Brahmaji, he was smiling. Why? Actually, he also could not do anything. If we see next 2 chapters, Brahmaji tells the history, okay, this is why the problem is there, and he tells little bit, but actually he doesn't have solution, But why still he smiles? That is the difference between consciousness of an advanced devotee and a neophyte, or an, say, expert manager versus a neophyte manager, When there is some issue in some department, and then if the devotee is not experienced, this fellow did this fellow did this, and and then an expert devotee said, okay, it has happened, what has happened, let's see how we can resolve it. So, Brahmaji, if we see, he doesn't give solution. What he does is, he gives them solace. How? By raising their consciousness. And how he does it? By describing Krishna Katha. So this is the second point. So first thing we saw that the difference between the neophyte and experienced devotee is that, many times they know problem, they know solutions, but if they are not able to apply solutions, they know how to raise the consciousness. So yes, Brahmaji, he told just little bit, like in today's verse we saw that he is telling about this 4 Kumaras. He told little bit history, but now from this verse onwards, next 2 chapters, all he is doing is glorifying the beauty of Vaikuntha planets, right? He is in his own ecstasy, he forgot about the darkness. He is just describing about Lord and his place of residence, and plain Krishna Katha basically, right? So, after the 2 chapters, if we see, Brahmaji could have just said, see, look, I cannot do anything. When Lord will appear, he'll kill the demon. Till then, you suffer. Did he say that? He did not. What he did in between, he added the most important aspect, that Krishna Katha. So, we have heard this so many times that, the solution to all problems is Krishna Katha, right? But then how to apply it? This is the practical example. And then what happens? Did the problem get solved by discussing Krishna Katha? No, right? The darkness was still there. But what happened? The consciousness level of demigods, it got elevated, and they could instead of being despondent and very hopeless in that situation, they were anticipating the appearance of Lord Varaha and Lord Narsingha. So the situation remained the same, but their consciousness was elevated. Many times what happens that if somebody comes to us for guidance, even if we don't know, we try to give some solution to keep our ego intact. That's I know. But Brahmaji did not do that. He clearly said, actually, I can't do anything. Only thing what he did, he gave them solace by speaking Krishna Katha. So, he knew his limits, that I know the problem, but can I kill Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha? No. He knew his limits also. So, he did not falsely assure that, I'll take care, or no. Rather, he preferred to glorify the Vaikuntha planets in detail, so that the consciousness of demigods gets elevated. So, we know that in Krishna, when he was appeared, they were staying in Gokul Mahavan, and then Putana came, and Shaktasura came, Trunavart came. So many demons were coming, right? So one day, this coward man, they did a meeting, and they said, look, Krishna and Balaram, they are really in danger, because so many demons are coming. So let's shift to Vrindavan. So from Gokul Mahavan, they decided we'll move our whole residence, And then, after going there, what happened? Next day, Bakasura came. And then after a day or two, Vatshasura came, the Baka demon, the crane demon, and then the calf demon, right? And what this Gopas, again they went to Nanda Maharaj. Did they say we'll move the place? No, Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 11th chapter, verse 58, it describes, Iti nandadayo Gopa, Krishna Rama katham muda, kurvanto ramamanascha, navidanna bhava vedanam. In this way, all the coward men, headed by Nanda Maharaj, enjoyed topics about the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram, and with great transcendental pleasure, and they could not even pursue material tribulations. So the purpose of their shifting from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan was what? Because demons are troubling. And after going there, what happened? More demons came. Situation changed? No, but it says that Kurvanto Ramamanascha. The coward boys, the elderly coward men, they were happy. Oh, today, Bakasura, came, and then, he gulped Krishna, and Krishna went inside, and we all were frightened. But then suddenly, Krishna came out, and he, tore the beaks apart and killed that demon. Haribol, And then, next day, a calf came. He was so beautiful calf, and we are all playing, and suddenly we realized, he's a demon. But, Krishna effortlessly again killed him, and we got nice, fruits to eat, because, you threw him in a way that, a lot of fruits fell down. So, are they worried about the material tribulations? No, they are perfectly in peace. Rather, Vrindavan, Gokul Mahavan, they were the most peaceful places before Krishna's appearance. And after Krishna's appearance, all we have is demons coming left and right? But everybody was in ecstasy. Navidanta bhavavedanam, that they could not even pursue material tribulations. They were least bothered. Why? Because they were discussing Krishna Katha. So this is the point again and again. If we see, You take any trivial, like, any problematic situation within the life of a devotee from, Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita, what they have done is started discussing Krishna Katha. Nobody addressed the problem, directly. Rather, they change their consciousness. It is said that, when we are on the ground, we see the buildings very big, right? But when we fly on the plane, we see them very small. So when you raise ourselves, the so-called big things becomes very small. So same way, when the consciousness is raised with the help of Krishna Katha, the so-called big problems appear insignificant. Rather, devotees take happiness doing that. Another example, like, Kunti Maharani, right? Pandavas, they were in so much turbulence, right? And then everything was sorted, and Krishna said, okay, now everything is, peaceful. Then what Kunti Maharani says that, Vishan Mahagani, that verse is there, right? In that there was poisonous cake fed, and then there was a house of fire, house of lac where we were tried to burn, and then there was a man eating demons. But he said, Krishna, now everything is not there, but now you are going. He said, we are more happy there, and that's why that famous prayer, right? That Vipada Santu Tashashvat Tatra Tatra Jagat Guru Bhavato Darshano Yasyat Na Punar Bhava Darshanam. Right? He says, let that calamities come again and again, so that we remember you. And by remembering you means not seeing the cycle of birth and death again. So same point. There were tribulations, but the Krishna Katha, the pastimes of Krishna, they were giving the solace, So, Brahmaji, he is doing the same thing, that, he's not perplexed, he's smiling, prasya. He's smiling at the whole situation, and instead of giving them one verse reply that, just wait till the time, these demons are killed, nothing I can do. He is speaking in detail now. From tomorrow we'll see, the description of Vaikuntha planets. He gave a little bit history about the Kumaras, that we see. And he is describing. So, therefore, even Krishna says, right, Machita Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. When we discuss about Krishna, amongst each other, that really pleases Krishna, and it takes care of all problems. It may not be on material plane, but our consciousness will get elevated. So that was second point. So first point was how there is a difference between a neophyte approaching a problem and a senior devotee approaching a problem. So we saw that how the demigods were perplexed, but Brahmaji was smiling, though he cannot do anything. But then he elevated, he gave them solace by speaking Krishna Katha. That is the difference between experienced devotee, and that's why we even need the senior mentors, to give us this, insights. And then the third point in today's verse, Prabhupada's purport is mentioning that sometimes they, this four Kumaras, they travel all over the universe out of their own accord to preach the devotional service. This is the third point, that the devotees, they are ready to take any amount of inconvenience to share this Krishna Katha and elevate people's consciousness. How many of us has traveled to India or overseas? Right? Almost most of us, right? Concept of jet lag. You go there because this is day here, and when you go there, it's night there. So around 4 or 5 o'clock, you feel like you're knocked off, like a drunken fellow. You just can sleep anywhere and everywhere, right? Now Prabhupada traveled 13 times. Is there anywhere mentioned in Prabhupada Lilamrut or in diary of so many personal servants that Prabhupada was under jet lag? No. What he used to do? Devotee has mentioned that he used to adjust his clock. Okay, now I am in this country. What is the time? And he is to continue with the same schedule. Right? Why? This desire. What desire? It was not that Prabhupada wanted to make a world record to travel. No. It was his desire to share this Krishna Katha and deliver everyone. Right? And we see in all the previous acharyas, actually, it is said that, there is even one verse in Bhagavatam, right? That ends like, Panthastam Sharanam Gataha, that it says, one feels very, when we hear Krishna Katha, we feel very solaced, as if a traveler has come to home. Because traveling is not a pleasant thing in one way. Yeah, while going we are a little excited, but many times there are no facilities and there's no proper food to eat, and weathers are harsh, right? So it's problematic. So, but devotees, they travel. Why? To share this Krishna Katha. And we see, like, Narad Muni, when he got this curse from Daksha, that you cannot stay at one place more than 3 days, Narad Muni was in bliss. He said, wow, such a blessing in disguise. Now I can travel anywhere, everywhere. He was anyway doing before also. So, to share this Krishna Katha. So Prabhupada is mentioning this, when we speak of desire, we refer to desire for material sense gratification, but saintly persons like Sanak, Sanatan, Sanandan and Sanat Kumar have no material desire. So they are saying that sometimes they travel throughout the material and spiritual skies without any definite desire. But their desire is what? To preach Krishna Katha. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to, when he used to travel from Calcutta to Puri, there used to be a train. So he used to, get in the train. Like when the train used to start, like India, there are many stops, right? Small villages. So when the train used to stop, he used to get in front of the door. Indian train, if you see that there are door and handle, right? He used to stand there. All the people, his disciples and many onlookers, they used to come and he used to speak Krishna Katha. He used to give a class. And even the train driver and the whoever whoever is that guards, they used to come and they used to listen. Once his class is over, train used to go to next village. He used to again come at the door, deliver a class. Like that, at each place, he was giving classes. So you see the burning desire to share Krishna Katha he had. He would have just sat, chanted his japa and went to Puri, right? It was not that he was not eager to see Lord Jagannath, but that was his burning desire to share Krishna Katha. And that's why even he sent his disciples, right, all over the world. You travel. We see, go one more level back, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He could not travel. What he did? He wrote the books. He sent it to universities, right? The life and teachings and precepts of Lord Chaitanya. Yeah. Again, desire to share this Krishna Katha. So, if you go a little bit back again, the Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamanand Pandit and Srinivas Acharya, they were asked by Jiva Goswami to collect all this literature and travel. Why? Again, to share. That's so beautiful pastime. They took all the literatures. In between they get lost. Then Srinivas Acharya stays back, retrieves them. Meanwhile, what they are doing? You would have said, all the Goswami's original writings are gone. Were they depressed? No, they know that they had a problem, same situation. They were not knowing solution. What they did? Krishna Katha, and elevated that king's consciousness and made him a devotee. Made that whole kingdom devotee. Found the books, went ahead. Right? Again, one more level before that, Shadu Goswamis, they were sleeping under each tree every day, each night, traveling around the Vrindavan area. Again, why? To share Krishna Katha, right? Lord Chaitanya is called as Parivraja Shiromani, Utkala Pavan. He is called as the crest jewel amongst the Parivrajakacharyas, one in the renounced order who is continuously traveling. So Lord Chaitanya also, 6 years he was traveling on a foot. He was not having any, it's like, sometimes when we go on yatra, we book the tickets, we have residence reserved, prasadam reserved, we have even options. Vrindavan we are going, okay, in MBT I'll get pizza, in Fogala Ashram I'll get Indian prasad, we have all options ready. Lord Chaitanya went barefoot, no inns, no hotels, nothing, right? Parivraja Shiromani Utkala Pavan. And he delivered the whole South India. Again traveling. And what he did? Chanting, describing the Krishna's glories. Krishna Katha. There was one Brahman, Grihastha Brahman, he said, I am fed up with my family life. It is like a burning forest, fire. I want to leave everything and come with me. Did Lord Chaitanya say, yes, come? No. He said, stay here and chant the glories of Lord Krishna. Everything will be fine. Elevated consciousness, right? Before Lord Chaitanya, Ishwar Puri, Madhavendra Puri, they also, Madhavendra Puri, he was traveling, again, speaking about Lord Krishna. So we see that these devotees, pure devotees, they travel, and what they do, they it is said, like Bhagavatam, there is verse which says that Shukadeva Goswami used to travel, and he doesn't used to be in a place for more time than it is required to milk the cow. Right? It's not that he wanted a milk of cow and then go. No, the point was, he used to go to the households, speak about Krishna Katha, move on. Speak about Krishna Katha, move on. Elevate their consciousness. So this is the essence of, it is said like, books are basis, utility is principle, and purity is force, and preaching is the essence. What is meaning by preaching? Yeah, there will be problems in our life, everybody's life. Krishna has labeled this world, material world, dukkhalayam, ashashvatam, So what we have to do is that when somebody comes to us, yeah, we try to give some practical advice, but more important than is, raising their consciousness, discussing Krishna Katha, I know once His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj was sharing that in New Vrindavan, there was one bull which was very difficult to handle, and they had given him service of, you use this bull in, Radha Vrindavan Chandra's service. So what he used to do, he said, I used to sit in front of him and read, Bhagavad Gita, and then that bull used to be very calm and, do the services. So again, what? Elevating Krishna Katha, elevating consciousness by Krishna Katha, not only for humans, even for, animals, So to summarize, we saw that the demigods, they went with the problem. Brahmaji also knew the problem, but he was not having immediate solution. So instead of just saying that, wait till the time, Lord comes, and he actually tells the same thing, wait till Varaha and Lord Nrsimha comes, till then you suffer. But he did not tell that in one word, rather he raised their consciousness. So problems will be there, but when we do Krishna Katha, our consciousness is raised, and that gives solace. So we don't have to, if somebody approaches us, we don't have to give false, if we don't know, we don't have to give false solution. Rather, in any condition, we can help each other to raise our consciousness by doing Krishna Katha. And if we do that, everybody is benefited. And then in today's verse, when Brahmaji has started speaking and giving the history, he is telling that how this 4 Kumaras, they were one day traveling, and then what happens, we'll see next from tomorrow. And then we also saw that how the cowards, they moved from Gokul Mahavan to Vrindavan to avoid demons, but demons still came, but they did not get discouraged. Rather, they became happy discussing how Krishna killed them and discussing the activities of Krishna and Balaram. So when we are absorbed like this, then all the problems on material level, they may remain the same, but we'll be unaffected by them. So let us hope and pray that we get this consciousness. We would like to stop with one prayer. It is from, it said, Vikretu kama kila gopa kanya muraripada chitta vritte Tadhyodakam moha vashadavochad Govinda damodara madhaveti. The gopis, they went to sell the butter and yogurt to Mathura. But in doing so, they were always thinking of Krishna's lotus feet. So when they went and sat there for selling, instead of calling out that butter for sale, milk for sale, yogurt for sale, they cried out, Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. So let's all of us, with the help of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, purports, develop this consciousness so that in whatever condition we may be, we will be able to say Govinda, Damodara, Madhava. So we'd like to stop here. Any questions, comments? Thank you. Tantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Transcendental Krishna Katha ki jai.